Hey, everybody. We are so glad you're here with us for VIDLIFT round 3, I think we're on. We really appreciate you joining us. We've got an awesome panel with us tonight. We'll start with this guy. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
First, because you know why? You know why I'm first? Because they threw me under the bus. That's why. I talk about work camping and my wife and I, we drive around the countryside. We look for a place that will let us work and stay for free. And I do videos.
What an awesome gig he's got there. Y'all make sure to check out Steve Turtle. We've also got from RV on the Wayside.
Hey, I'm Donovan, and I make ridiculously dumb videos, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't watch my channel. Thank you so much.
That's one way to do it. And joining us live from Texas Family Camping.
Hi, my name is Dave. I just walked out of the shower. These 3 guys grabbed me and said, we need you to look at a couple of videos with us.
And just for the record, I don't often grab guys when they walk out of the shower, but tonight we figured we wanted to put together this great panel. We are so glad you're all with us. We're going to be checking out a video from Brian and Lucy over at Whoa Nellie RV Adventures. And we're also going to be checking out a video from Brad and Diana at It's About Time Now. This is my first time doing this hosting thing. Steve, Dave, Donovan, is there anything I'm missing before we jump into the video?
If others would like to do it, how do they do it?
That's a good question. If you are willing to share a video with us, would you please send us a video at our link at vidliftinfo@gmail.com. What you'll do is just take one of your YouTube videos, grab the link with the share button, and then just send an email to that email address. And the 4 of us take turns checking that email each week, and we will reply to you and say, hey, we're going to check out your video this week. And when you send that link to us, also tell us about a minute clip, a minute or less, that you'd be willing for us to look at and share and talk about and learn from. And that's how we get it all started. And so far, we have had a great response, folks sharing videos with us and saying, hey, take a look. But here's the thing. We've not had anybody share any bad videos with us. This job gets difficult when you don't share any bad videos. So any of you who are willing to share any of your less than stellar videos, we would greatly appreciate it. So far, we've had nothing but awesome. And tonight's going to be another couple of great videos. All right, Donovan, was that it? What else do I need to say?
How about welcome, everybody?
I already did that. Were you not paying attention?
Okay, you're good.
Hey, so you had said that this is the 3rd show, but it's the first time you're hosting. So how can people find the other episodes of this show?
Man, goodness, these are things I should have in my notes and I should have covered. But we actually rotate through. Right now you're watching on McGuire's on Tires. The next show will be on Texas Family Live. And if you look on the thumbnail for today's show, it tells you that next week's show, Tuesday at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, will be on Texas Family Live. And then from there, it'll go to RV on the Wayside, and then to Steve Turtle, and then back to McGuire's on Tires. So we rotate through each week, but always check the thumbnail. It tells you where the next show will be. What's up, ST?
Where can they find the links to the videos we're going to watch tonight?
Good night. For you guys to do this every week, y'all sure do have a lot of questions. Every video that we show, we make sure to put the links in the description. So if you ever want to watch the video before the show begins, there's a shortened link, a bit.ly version in the description. So you could watch it and get your own Cliff's Notes versions of things we're going to discuss. You could make it, and then when we get to the discussion portion, you could join in and add your own feedback. And we try to watch the chat and catch things that you guys share that we miss, and it provides for great discussion. How about All right. Is that
I
it?
had one last thing.
Of course you did. Go ahead.
First, I'd like to point out that Texas Family Camping is his channel, but for the lives, he has designed a new channel called Texas Family Live. So that way, you know the difference of the two. You don't. If you go to one, you could get lost. So make sure you go to Texas Family Live. And the second thing is, I love your haircut, Scott. It looks really good on you today.
Wow. Thank you. See, Donovan is trying extra hard to be polite. That's good, Donovan. That's good. Yes, Dave from Texas Family Camping.
If I forgot my drumsticks today, can I borrow some?
No, we don't do that in my classroom. If you forgot your drumsticks today, that is your darn fault. So you just sit down and I'll get to you in a minute. Look at that look on his face. It's as if he's been told that before. He knows the drill. He forgot his reeds. Yep, that's him. All right, y'all, let's get into it. We're going to start with a video from It's About Time Now. Brad and Diana were on a trip, and this is just a segment of what they experienced on that trip. What we're going to do is play a 1-minute clip. We're each going to share some tidbits, and then do we play the clip again then, or do we round table first? Play the clip.
I think we should play the clip before the round table.
All right, so we're going to play a 1-minute clip. We're each going to just say just a little bit that sticks out to us. We're going to play the clip again and see if you notice the things that we said, and then we'll have a round table discussion. So without further ado, here's Brad and Diana from It's About Time Now.
Not a path, and that's pretty sandy, and they recommend bug spray, and you have to watch out for wildlife.
And we're still in Montana. Oh look, it's like a baby arch. But we're about to stop for the night.
So our campground has level sites, has full hookups.
That's it.
Brad says that's what we got. There's a restaurant, which Brad assures me is actually a bar. I haven't been in there. No? What was it like? The Old West what? No. Okay.
So that was Brad and Diana from It's About Time Now. We're going to start with Steve, and then we'll go to Donovan, and then we'll go to Dave, and then I'll wrap us up. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, thank you very much there, Mr. Scott. Outstanding. Thanks for the introduction. Okay, I want to start it sort of at the end of this clip. I love the vlog. I like the way, Diana's holding the camera up and she's walking and talking about their site. And I love the exchange between the two of them. Diana's talking, and then she starts talking about this restaurant, and Brad's like, no, it's not a restaurant. And she says it's a bar. And there's some comedy after, there's some discussion, and I'm not quite sure if it's a bar or a restaurant, but I really love the exchange between the two of them because it really gives you a sense of how they interact between the two of them, joking around. And I thought that was really good. The cicadas at the very beginning of the clip, I couldn't hear Diana. I could hear bits and pieces, but I couldn't hear it very well. I don't know if that's a mic thing or if it was the cicadas, but it was loud. And then when they were going down the road and they showed the road B-roll, same thing. I could see the B-roll between the truck and the road noise. I couldn't hear Diana very well. So I think either a voiceover or something like that would be a little bit better than what actually came out. Otherwise, I thought it was a good video.
Oh, so first of all, let me just say that Diana is. Did I do that? I just wanted to say that Diana's smile and her genuineness can't get me to stop smiling. Okay, I'm like drawn in by her because she's just so happy and genuine, and you want her to talk more. The photo of those rocks was stunning. I almost wish you left it on for just another second or two, just because I was really enjoying the way that was looking. The snake warning was a great way to start. It was like a pound at me, like, oh, what are we going to see? Two things I thought of. One, I was thinking of if you could slow-mo the arch, because I watched it twice before I actually saw the hole in the arch to see it was an arch. I kept looking at the center, and the second time I saw it pop up, and I saw it was near the top. So maybe if you slow-moed it when you got closer, we could have got a better look at the arch. And, and like I said, it would have been, I think the audio also, I think the voiceover would have been perfect for some of those scenes. But love the interaction.
I apologize, everyone. I'm going to make you dizzy for just a second when we get this switched around. All right, next up, Dave from Texas Family Camping.
It is really hard to criticize people that you've come to know and love, meeting them in all these chats and watching their videos. So that is a tough one. It is a great video. It is well done. I really liked the B-roll. One of the things that I noticed was in your B-roll, the constant movement. It never was that like steady shot where it's just kind of stuck there for a moment. It actually moved or zoomed in or zoomed out. Excellent way to keep people glued in. Since I think everybody's going to pick on the cicada sounds, it was hard to hear Brad, but you knew that because you actually were putting Brad's words on the screen. So I'm sure there could be a way that you could get Brad's audio in there a little bit better. I think if you could, that would help the video a lot better. But you already were aware of that, and you were playing well to it by putting the words up there. So, like I said, it's hard to criticize y'all. Well, since Steve Turtle's not going again, I guess this guy up there can have a turn.
Here I go. Talking about the cicada sounds and the B-roll, I think those two things could have worked together. When you were talking about the dangers on the trail, we didn't see you talking, so that could have been a voiceover, and the video footage could have been a close-up of the sign saying danger wildlife. We could have put some B-roll on top of that. It could have been a voiceover, and we didn't have to know that it was a voiceover. Sometimes you can play with that. Extraneous is the word I'm going to use. I don't know what it is. Extraneous noise, like the bug sounds, and you can kind of you can cover it a little bit with music, but I think the music was too loud in this case. And between the music and the darn bugs, it was hard to hear. So if we would have made that a separate voiceover and then put some B-roll on top of it, you could have done that without us even knowing that it was a voiceover. But one thing that was incredible that I thought you did really well, Donovan has said before, don't show us your drive. We all know what a drive looks like. I mean, if you're going to show this much of it. What you did, you showed a short clip, you showed a point of interest and told us what we were looking at, and then showed another short clip and then moved on. And we all knew that you drove. And that was a really smart way to do that driving clip to get us to the next destination, the next point of interest. And what was cool was that was part of your storytelling. Your storytelling is super strong. You guys are so great at that. You took us from the trail to the road to the campground, and then right at the end of this clip, Brad is laughing about something, and then you moved on to the next thing. I think if you're gonna give us that awesome Brad laugh, let's delve into it and talk about what is he laughing at, and give us a little bit of that storyline. But I mean, really, your storytelling is fantastic. What we want to do now is go back. Now that we've each said just a little bit about the video, we want to show that clip again. And then we're just going to have a quick roundtable discussion. But Brad and Diana, I mean, you sent us another great one. So here's this 1 minute clip again from It's About Time Now.
How to pass. And that's pretty sandy, and they recommend bug spray, and you have to watch out for wildlife.
and we're still in Montana. Oh look, it's like a baby arch. But we're about to stop for the night. So our campground has level sites, has full hookups.
That's it.
Brad says that's what we got. There's a restaurant, which Brad assures me is actually a bar. I haven't been in there. No? What was it like? The Old West what? No. No. Okay.
You know, because I'm the new guy, I'm curious from you veterans, is there, when we're talking about sound levels of accompanying music, background noise, the main talking head, is there an industry standard to go by? So far, I've just been going by what seems to work. Is there something at like a number we should be using?
I never bought the book that Donovan told me to buy about not making videos that suck. So I'm assuming my videos still suck.
I always hear good range is either the plus or minus 3 decibels of how you recorded it. But it all depends on your equipment. And when it comes to editing, it depends on what they have available to them to edit. So for like the cicada situation, I would have actually, it'd have been tough to take the voice separate from the cicadas because they're recorded simultaneously. So what I would have actually done is went and found cicada sounds and put that layer in there and then did my voiceover with it and just lower the cicadas.
Oh, that's good, Donovan. That's really
But
good.
not everybody has that kind of editing ability. So I try to be careful about me, suggesting things like that. But that's how I've covered places where I can't do a voiceover also.
Yeah.
I mean, where I didn't do a voiceover and I need to. That's what I'm trying to say.
Chuck and Sherry just happened to ask what software we use for editing. See, I started on iMovie, and I thought I was going to move to what's the fancy version of iMovie?
Final Cut Pro.
I thought I was going to go to Final Cut Pro, but I've realized that I've learned to manipulate everything that I need to. I don't need anything fancier. If I need things that are on multiple levels, I'll just go create a new project, do it, and then put it back in. It's serving my needs. Now these guys are on fancier stuff, I think. What do y'all use?
I've got a free version of Hit Film Express, and it works fine for me. It's not real intuitive, but it does everything that I want it to do. And that's what I've been using.
I use Final Cut Pro X because I just want to keep learning new techniques, new special effects. I always try to put something different in. So I went ahead and paid the, $300 one-time fee with lifetime upgrades. I went ahead and paid for it. And then sometimes I bring in some small add-ons to it just to do some fun stuff. So
I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
I thought because Adobe Premiere Pro has so many capabilities, I thought, okay, it's time. I'm going to learn it. So I bought a ridiculously fancy laptop for myself for Christmas and went ahead and started learning because I had, through work, I had access to the whole Adobe suite. And I thought, if I go ahead and learn this, I can use it for work too. So I got in there. It was too powerful for me. Even the tutorials, I'm like, it does the same stuff. I just got to relearn it and then learn to do the robust things. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to sit with what's working and manipulate as best I can. So right here, you've got 4 people with 4 different things that are working just fine. So the key is find what's working for you and figure out how to manipulate it to meet your needs.
I see Con Travel says he uses DaVinci Resolve 17. Whoa, Nellie RV Adventures uses Cyberlink Power Director. I mean, it really does. I mean, there's so many options. There's no perfect answer. It's what works for you, right?
And that's usually true. Whatever you use that you're used to is probably the best thing for you because you're used to it.
Yeah, the learning curve to Final Cut Pro from iMovie was not easy.
Yeah.
I was using Windows used to have an app that came with it called Movie Maker with Windows 7.
Yep.
And I had gotten into that. I had dabbled in it, made a few videos for the family. And when I saw Adobe had a Black Friday deal where it was half the cost for a year, and I thought, I'll give it a shot. I'll figure it out and learn it. And it was a steep learning curve. That's probably why some of my early videos were terrible, because I was, little guy in a big room. But my goal is to learn something new every week, or every time I made a video, learn something new in Adobe. And as time goes on, then that helps my skill set.
Welcome to the Texas Family Camping YouTube channel.
That was high quality. That's why I keep using it. It's so good.
That was a good point.
Not to take our conversation off track, but back to the video. One thing that I think I would have done in the talking head, when Diana is walking and talking, it's so easy to look at yourself and not the camera. I think that's what was happening. It's just it connects with the audience if you're looking at the camera. That's one thing I would do, is looking at the camera. And depending on what you're using, I think I saw Diana say that back then she was using iMovie, and there's just a stabilize button, which, as we talked about last week, sometimes can be helpful and sometimes it becomes wavy. But I think just for the walking, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, so maybe I just get nauseated really easy. I get car sick really easy. But I think I would have stabilized that video and connected with the audience looking at the camera. Have y'all noticed that when you're watching videos, sometimes people accidentally are not looking at the camera?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Like right now?
What? I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at the camera.
Did you guys all see the arch? The first time you watched it?
No.
Yes.
The last time I saw it.
How about you, Scott?
I saw that she was calling it the arch, and I watched it probably a dozen times, and I never did figure out that it was an arch, even though she said it.
You guys
Did you see it this time when I said it was in the very top corner?
I'll have to go back and watch it.
That's why I would slow-mo it, because it was something that I had a hard time catching on to. And that's why I also have someone else watch my video and have them critique it before I say I'm on my final edit. It's something that you can get someone to do.
This is a helpful hint to the 20 folks watching and the 4 folks on the screen. I have learned that if you want to critique your own videos better, invite somebody to watch it with you. As soon as somebody's sitting beside you, all of a sudden you're critiquing your video a whole lot better, because you're going, oh no, they think this. Oh no, they think this. I mean, I'll have my wife or my child sit beside me and I'm going, oh no, I need to fix that. I need to fix that. And I'm making notes. Just having somebody sit down next to you. It's true though. It's true.
Real quick, Mellow Nomadic Adventures says, any tips on not looking at the monitor or your camera or your phone or whatever you're using?
Tripod.
I took a sticky note, cut it into an arrow, and stuck it on my phone and pointed to the lens, so I would look at that arrow instead of myself.
It takes a will of mind. Like right now, to the right, I've got my monitor for my camera, and to my left, I've got these guys on the screen. And it's difficult because I want to sit here and stare at the guys on the screen, but I know that I need to keep looking dead center on that lens right there.
That is tough. When y'all are talking, I'm looking where each of you are, but right now when I'm talking, there's a green dot. There's a light, and I'm looking at the green dot, which is weird because there's nobody there looking back at me. Right. And the people that do, like those people that put out multiple YouTube videos, like 1 a day or 2 a day or 3 a day, and they're just talking heads. I don't know how they do it, because at least when I'm doing like a travel vlog, at least I'm capturing something. But I mean, to do this, I don't have an answer for it except just practice. The more you do it, the less awkward it becomes. But right now I'm looking at the green dot and it's awkward.
That green light is mesmerizing. Sometimes I forget you're talking to me because I get like sucked in, like it's some kind of hypnosis thing.
En route with Chuck and Sherry said, "Hey, Steve Turtle, do you follow us?" I don't think I do. I don't think I've been to your channel.
Well, you should do something about that, Steve.
I think I'm just going to get on over there and check them out. That's the right thing to do.
So Desert Adventures, or Desert Adventures in Arizona said true. I have my wife watch mine, and she's tough. Jody's the same for me. She'll sit next to me, and I'd be like, "Oh, she's gonna say that," and I'm already writing it down. And then, sure enough, she says it. But I didn't see it when I did it myself. So you're spot on, Scott.
Yeah, if I let Joe watch mine, I wouldn't be able to post any.
Did I just compliment Scott? Oh my gosh.
You
didn't
did.
mean to. Everybody understands we make mistakes.
You're so nice. Okay.
Our next video is from Brian and Lucy over at Whoa Nellie RV Adventures. And again, this video is actually about 1.5 minutes. So we're going to show you 2/3 of the video, and it's the first chunk. If you want to see the rest of it, you got to go watch it. But this is a really unique video from Whoa Nellie RV Adventures.
The footprint, transitory in its existence. The contact of flesh with earth, created by thought. What is on the mind at that fleeting moment? Does the soul understand the connection, the enlightenment, the healing? Sometimes we make prints with a companion. Sometimes we make prints alone. But always we make a brief mark upon the land.
All right, I'm trying to get you guys. Okay, good. Y'all are quiet now. It's my turn. No, it's not my turn to talk about the video. I just want to make sure we weren't all making sound at the same time. See, these guys will take each other's turns. Y'all aren't kind, Donovan. I mean, Donovan's been nice twice tonight. Okay. So Steve was up first last time. So we're going to start with Dave this time.
Wow. Did we just go to like the New York Metropolitan Museum of Natural Science? Who made this video? That was really well put together. I'm in shock. Like the transparency, okay, so I make videos, but I don't always know the right words. What's it called when they're like multiple layers and it's like translucent? I'm so mind blown over this video. It was really well done.
It's a fade.
Wow, that looked amazing. I mean, the way it was all put together and everything, very well done. I have to criticize this. Somebody air one of Scott's videos real quick. I gotta criticize that. I'm just kidding, Scott. What could be done better? And it was really well done. Pass. I don't have anything.
All right. Well, first of all, the light glares, the speed changes, like the slow-mo when you went from having the dog next to you by yourself, made it feel less, made you feel sadder. I mean, the close-ups and the pull-aways, distance from the feet and the sand. I could not look away. I was blown away from all that. And the most important part for me on this one, as good as all the photography and the cinematography and all that stuff I just mentioned, was the intonation of her voice during the whole thing. And when I say that, I mean like the highs and the lows of her voice during that whole period. I was like mesmerized. I mean, I was so relaxed, and I was like, okay, I got to watch this again because I missed any mistakes that could possibly come up with. And I only came up with one. Add more puppy. I loved it. I have nothing. Sorry. That was amazing. I'm embarrassed to ever show my videos again.
Should I go next? Oh, wow. Lucy, Lucy always does really fantastic videos. I really love her videos. She puts a lot of her heart into her videos. They're awesome. So, but I did find something that I wanted to say. But I love the video. It's very cerebral. It makes you think. The words match the video. There were some very good examples of what she was saying as she was doing the video. Walking alone, she shows herself by herself. Walking with a friend, she shows the dog. It's just really, really awesome. The foot, when it strikes the ground, the person comes in contact with the earth, and I don't know, it's just, I just thought it was really cerebral for me. And also, my mom lived at the beach, and I don't know, I always relate to her videos because of that. So it's sort of something that Lucy and I have together that we don't really realize that we have, but we do. The footprints nowhere to be seen, and all you see is sand. I love it, the way it all comes together. And like David said, the fade. I love the fade. And forgotten, once left behind, the minute she says that, the footprint is, the video fades and the sand washes the footprint away. And I just love the way the words of the video comes together. And I'm going to call them, just for the purpose of this this live stream, I'm going to call them lyrics, because they're a poem or a verse or something. And I think it was well done. I think the music worked well. The fade transitions worked well. And the only two things that I'm going to talk about, and I talked about them last week, is thumbnails and tags. I went and looked at my TubeBuddy and did a keyword search, and her video thumb and title was footprints. And the search criteria is really not that great. It gives you options, and if you don't have TubeBuddy, you should get it. There's a free version, and it's very useful, and you can pay and get more add-ons. But I searched for, or it gave me an alternative, and it was, oh, darn it, now I forget what it was. Hold on, hold on. I got it. Here it is. Footprints in the Sand lyrics. And it has a high search volume. And I you know, if you would go back and look at that video and maybe change a few things around, you may get more visibility with the video. Thumbnails and titles and tags. I think it's very important and often overlooked. I myself am trying to do better with my videos in researching the thumbnails, the titles, and the tags, so that maybe I can get a little more visibility. And that's it. I'm done.
You know, talking about the lyrics, or the words to the poem, Donovan talked about the pitch. Well, he called it intonation, but we know it is the pitch, the up and down, the highs and the lows. But you know, it was, what I thought was really cool was the intentional pauses in the poetry matched the video. I thought that was really neat, and they were effective because they came at a point where you had to stop and you thought about what you just saw before we moved on to the next thing. But in that same vein with the rhythm, sometimes the rhythm felt jolted and inconsistent. The rhythm of the speech was inconsistent. It wasn't, the meter wasn't intended to be like, it wasn't a rhyming scheme, or it wasn't a certain number of syllables or anything like that. But sometimes it stopped at different times. But there were intentional pauses that you put in, and they were very effective. I don't know that the other ones were on purpose, but on top of that, the B-roll was fantastic. I really liked how that fit together. And for me, when I initially watched the video, it didn't strike my fancy. What I was telling the guys earlier, I mean, they loved it. And here's the thing for me, if I were just scrolling through the YouTubes and I landed on that, that probably wouldn't be something that I go, oh, let me watch this. But when I went back, I watched your video, gosh, at least 20 times today. And the more I watched it, the more I saw the elements that you put in. And I want to take just the speed of stuff and talk about that for a second, because it was really smart. It started and you were spinning around a footprint. Did y'all notice that? It was spinning around a footprint, and the footprint was in the center. And then we did a slow motion foot, but the frame was still, and the foot came into the frame, slow motion. So within just a couple of seconds, you've already changed what we're seeing and how you're doing it. Then you gave us a fast overview of the footprints, and the footprints were dead in the center. So we haven't taken the footprints out of the center yet. But then you gave us a slow overview, and the footprints started coming off center. And then you gave us real time walking with your companion. And Donovan talked about this, and that was centered. But then when you took the companion away and you talked about being alone, it was really cool because it slowed down. And we had a moment of reflection where we think about, oh, now I'm alone. But we also are now not in the center. Those footprints are not in the center. And it was close. So when we talked about being alone, we zoomed in close on those footprints. And then there was a slow pan to the real. So it was a slow pan. And at the end of that clip, we've got real-time waves coming in. And like I said, this didn't float my boat, but what I just described, that was incredible. That was really cool. I mean, and when I'm teaching music and I'm teaching things that you've got to do to have a successful performance, I tell the kids, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. When grandma listens to you play, she's not going to be able to know that you did this and this and this. She's going to know that she liked what she heard. Well, in your video, when I first watched it, I didn't know that you did this and this and this and this, but I knew it was a high quality video. And then when I went back, it's like a good piece of art. When you go back and you start digging in, I mean, all the pieces were there. And David, I don't know that we ever figured out the words you were looking for. In music, we'd say like a juxtaposition. They're all sitting right, all the layers are right on top of each other. I'm trying to teach you guys some SAT words tonight. But that is everybody's take on Lucy and Brian's video from Whoa Nellie RV Adventures. And so now that we've had everybody's take, let's all watch it together. This is about a minute clip, and then we'll have a quick round table while David takes a quick nap. Here we go.
The footprint, transitory in its existence. The contact of flesh with earth, created by thought. What is on the mind at that fleeting moment? Does the soul understand the connection, the enlightenment, the healing? Sometimes we make prints with a companion. Sometimes we make prints alone. But always we make a brief mark upon the land.
Yes, you on the front row, sir.
I found a criticism. I found one. Finally, I found one. The sound of the waves. There was a hard cut there. I would have added the wave sound to the whole video. There. Finally, something off my chest.
So you wouldn't have taken it out at all? You just left it in real quiet the whole way through?
Yes, because at no point in time did you ever truly leave the beach. You were just merely daydreaming and thinking about these other items, but you were always at the beach.
Oh,
I would have left the beach sound there the whole time.
That's a great point, Dave.
So the thing I like that I'm not sure I caught the first time was, you know, the foot, the first time the foot touches the ground and we got that cool little light underneath it, and, you know, it kind of starts to put you in that dream effect, right? That was our first get in that moment. But the foot was really dirty, full of sand. And it made me think a message that she might have been trying to convey is, this is why I'm with David. It's like a portal in a museum. You walk by and all of a sudden you're taken somewhere else outside of the museum. And I think that it's like saying I've been other places and now I'm putting my print here. And at the end, where the waves are coming in, it was almost like, all right, I'm going to wash over all of this and you're going to start over. Because she showed the water and the print's gone, but the waves are like, hey, I'm recycling it all. And now you're going to start from scratch. And I love the non-word messages that I saw.
Did y'all catch that as she was moving, we were talking about a minute ago, some things were fast, some things were real time, and some things were slow motion. Some things were turning, some things were centered, all centered. Even the graphics, at one point they were foreground and then they were background. I mean, she took us through every bit of that. And I've clearly, some of that is intentional, but sometimes I stumble upon things and I go, oh, that turned out pretty cool. That was neat. I got to wonder, was all of that on purpose? And I mean, some of it clearly was. So Lucy, did you map every single bit of that on purpose, or was some of it a happy accident? I'm just curious.
And you know what's funny is some people overdo it. And at first I thought I was going to see too much, but they all fit great. They were in different places and it worked. David, what is going on?
Nope. This is a family-friendly show. Nope, not gonna say it.
More puppy.
I think those are some very good points, Scott.
I'm sorry David's no longer on the program. Thank you, Steve, for bringing us back in. I'm looking to see if Lucy commented, because I really am curious, like, she said, it took me 3 days to make this minute video, very intentional, including the wording. Wow. Now, knowing that none of that was just little accidents, that's really cool.
But all of that which she did is good elements to any video. That it's always keeping you guessing or trying to figure out what's going on. The movement of the angle, the fast motion, slow motion. I think it was awesome. Again.
That's a good point. Sometimes you can have a video, like I've done a video where I know the topic is not the most interesting, but one way to hold interest is to change the speed, change the angle, change stuff, just change the clip. And one thing that I've always done from the beginning is put myself in the center of the frame, always, always, always. And I've tried to, over the last couple of videos, put myself in a third and just add some interest. I mean, there's something over here. Let's look at that in the background and put myself closer to the front so that's in the background. Look at you, Dave from Texas Family Camping.
What's that's called? What's that called? The thirds?
Is it the rule of thirds?
Rule of thirds. There you go. Look at us with terminology. What?
I know. Who knew we could do anything? I'm learning every time we do this.
Cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet.
Oh.
I had a question about that video. What do you guys think are some like I was talking about the different speeds and the different angles? What are some other things we could pull out of this really creative video and put in an RV video or in a cooking video? Or what are some elements that could spice up another video that we're making?
The lighting things were a great way to draw attention to something that you may not notice up front. So her little special effects with the lighting and the sparkles and stuff, if there's something you're talking about and you're looking at this giant landscape and you want them to look at a certain spot, a little sparkle or something there just to draw their eye. It's one thing, because when I was looking straight ahead at the footprints, sometimes I looked off to the side and I was seeing more sand and like the little lines of the seaweed, and it just drew my eyes away a little bit. And I thought that was, and like she said, it was intentional.
I think with any video, you can layer it. You can add layers so that, like David talked about, you hear the ocean maybe throughout, and you don't necessarily see the ocean, but you know you're there. So you're seeing her walk along the beach, but you still she would still hear the ocean even though you don't see it. And to capture that, I think is really great. So anytime you can layer things, I think that's great. Keeps the mind going.
Another thing that you can put in when you do those little light things or just a graphic thing to catch your interest, if you add a subtle sound effect with it, just a little swoosh or just enough to catch it breaks up what could be monotonous. Good night, Dave. Is there anything I'm going to say that in his head he's going, Scott's such an idiot. Would he just stop talking?
No, I love it when people say swoosh. I think it's awesome.
It's a
smile.
term.
Thank you. You made me
That's
smile.
the name of the thing on the side of my shoes.
I thought it was whoosh.
Whoosh.
Like a little ting if it's a sparkle or a little diamond shape, right? Ting.
Bing. That's right.
That's a very good point. Where do you get a swoosh?
I'll tell you guys all a secret. There's a place called freesound.org. And you do have to get a login. They send you no spam, and you can contribute your own sounds if you want, but you can look up about anything that the crowdsourcing made a sound for, and it's all free to use in your videos. And that's where I get a lot of my special effects sounds.
What's it called again?
freesound.org.
That sound singular.
Yep.
Guess what I did? I put it in the chat for everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
What?
Excellent work, Scott.
You can do that?
Gold star.
That's the first time I've ever typed during a live stream.
What's the email? VIDLIFT what?
That's probably something we should have a banner for. Or something.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Y'all, if you're willing to allow us to take a look at your video and learn from your video, please send an email to vidliftinfo@gmail.com and just send us a link to a YouTube video that you've put up. Tell us about a 1-minute clip that you'd be willing to let us share on the show and just talk over just like this, because as you see, Donovan has learned in recent weeks how to be kinder. And so nobody's going to rip your video apart. We're going to say some things that we've learned that we're going to blatantly steal for our videos. And we'll say some things that that we might suggest that you might want to do differently. But even Donovan's tiny hands are going to be kind. But please send us an email at vidliftinfo@gmail.com, because if you don't, we're going to start playing videos from Texas Family Camping Channel, and nobody wants that.
And we'll pick the video.
So one thing that I was going to take away from that last video was I feel like maybe I should make some videos of me walking around in the RV barefoot as I become one with the RV.
Okay, Dave's been removed from the show again. I'm sorry this keeps happening.
It must be his internet connection.
Yes. No, it's this terrible camera.
Yeah. I do have a question for the guys up here and everybody in the chat. If we could all join in together on this, I think we can learn together. You have something first, Donovan?
Yeah, we got one more. En route with Chuck and Sherry, who've just been fantastic giving us all these things. We struggle with length also. How long should your video be?
I have the perfect answer. As long as it has to be, but as short as it can be. Isn't that good? I totally stole that. You've got to be able to tell the story, but do it as concise as possible.
Go ahead.
I think last week Scott had brought up the channel that he likes to check out to learn stuff from, which is Think Media. Yeah. And they had a video not too long ago that just kind of stuck in my head. And it said, when you're a new YouTuber, you need to be making videos thinking like you're at a speed dating session. You only have a very short amount of time to keep people's attention. And, you know, it's those first few seconds. Like, I know Scott's been working hard on those first few seconds. So if you make a 25-minute long video, chances are people may just pass along and say, yeah, I don't have 25 minutes. Unless they know who you are, then they may sit down and watch it. So I like that analogy. Think of it as you're setting up a speed date.
And for me, it's about, if you have a clip in there that does not move the story along, it's time to take it out. You should be telling a story from beginning, middle, and end. And if none of that fits in there, that clip goes to the floor. Even if it's your favorite clip, let it go. It doesn't matter the length. The length is what works. And the only way I know that it works is if I can keep that storyline going without any extra.
Now, Donovan, can I go ahead now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see any more. Was there another one?
I don't know. I just know that I had something to say, and you brought up the chat, so now I got to talk to these people and stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm not even the host. I don't know why you just don't tell me why you don't drop me in the basement and just
keeps dropping me in the basement.
Removed from the show.
Well, now I got, oh.
You guys are, you're just bad.
Oh boy. Cruising with the Coleman said what Donovan said is true, even if it's your favorite clip. It's so hard. It's like you're fighting with your own ego. I love that clip. It's so perfect. But what Donovan told us last week was maybe it's perfect for another video. You just put it in another video if it really is that great. That was a great point. Dave was saying that I have been working on the hook, the first 15, 30 seconds or so of your video. I would like to get everybody to compile our brains together, folks in the chat and folks on the screen. What are some things we can do to maintain interest in the first 15 to 30 seconds of the video? So go ahead and type in the chat. You know, if somebody clicks on your video, then within a few seconds, they're going to decide, am I going to stick around and watch more of this? So, you know, obviously you want to give them the thing you promised in your thumbnail and the thing you promised in your title. And sometimes it might be that's the big moment of your video, so you don't want to give it away. So like one time we were hiking in the mountains and found ourselves in the middle of a rainstorm. So we went ahead and showed the rainstorm at the beginning, but within about 5 or 6 seconds, we stopped and said 6 hours earlier or earlier that day. And then we worked up to it. So we gave the thing we promised, and that's how we were able to hold on to people in that video. But what are some things y'all do to hold on to people in the first 15 to 30 seconds of the video?
Sunset Seeker said maybe you could use that edited clip on Instagram. Sorry, I had to put that in there because if that's your favorite clip.
Yeah.
What I like to do is either pose a question or make the scariest part of the video the very first thing you see.
Mm-hmm.
That way, either way, you either want to see how that thing happened or what happened to it, or you want an answer to that question. That's my best go-tos. I loved your earlier thing. It's very Quentin Tarantino of you, Scott.
Oh, the thing I stole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I blatantly stole it. It was as long as it has to be, but as short as it can be.
No, I meant you saying that you showed the lightning or whatever, and then you went earlier. That's a great move. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I didn't steal that. That was yeah. Thank you.
Oh.
That was original?
Nobody's ever done that before.
Well, it's like if the video is kind of clickbaitish, you give them a taste of what they actually came for right there at the beginning, and then you go back and you build up to how it happened. So that way that they know, and they could still leave. They may, if they got just a little bit of it, but if you've still got some more meat to whatever it is you're talking about later, hopefully they'll stick around to see more of what happened.
Chuck and Sherry asked, so do we show a preview clip and then our intro and then start our video? I think if that's the route you go, you're giving them too much time to click off. What I'm suggesting is like what you're saying, a preview clip. Yeah, maybe just a few seconds of this is what I promised you, and then jump right in. Now, me personally, I've never been a fan of an intro that's more than like 2 or 3 seconds. If you've got this really cool intro that's like, I've watched some videos and their intro is like 10 or 15 seconds. I fast forward through it or I go to another video. So be careful with intros. But yeah, maybe, just give a little something for people, a little nugget for people to hang on to.
And sometimes it's just the video, no words. Something that they see and go, what was that? They want to see it. They want to see what that was. And, it could be something. And like Donovan said, I like to start off with a question. Have you ever been to this place, or have you ever did this, or, have you ever had this happen to you? And sometimes it's difficult. You don't know what that hook is until the video is almost done. And then you start thinking through what the hook could be.
We've got a zip lining video coming out next week. And if you go to watch a zip lining video, obviously the story starts when you're getting your helmet on, you're getting hooked up, and you're walking to the platform. But if that's the beginning of your video, that's not what I clicked on it to see. So this video starts with Carrie and Chloe flying down the zip line, and you see Chloe look back, and Carrie's going, "Yeah, Chloe," and then bam, we go back, and that's another one where I went, "All right, here's how we got there." But I don't use that trick every time.
Melonomadic Adventures said, show short clips that pique interest and preview your end and promise to reveal to show them at the end.
Yeah, like if you're watching Marshall's channel, Melonomadic Adventures, he's going to talk to you about the cabinet. He's going to say, "I'm going to show you what I'm doing with this cabinet that I'm rebuilding," and he's going to promise you along the way. And he's going to draw you in such a way that you will not click off before you see how that cabinet turned out.
I like what Cruising with the Colemans just said. I like to set the pace right away. High energy music, faster cuts between the clips so that they can see multiple pieces of what will be revealed throughout the the video, and then kind of work into the actual what we're here to talk about.
That's perfect. Yes.
And if possible, hook it not just at the beginning, but create those hooks throughout. Brad and Diana's video, they showed the signature of Clark before, and then they talked about the signature. I would have talked about it and never showed it until the last minute. You know what I mean? But that was earlier in the video. Save it, keep it going, and if you can, and then that way it creates interest for, I want to see the signature.
Cruising the Colemans also said we want them to feel our humor and or tease them. I mean, a lot of my videos that you'd see some crazy moment in the beginning is some silly thing that happened, and you're waiting to see how it got there, right? So I love the humor part. That's my go-to every time.
Yeah, we watched Hinton the Trail last week, and the very beginning of their video, he does great camera work, but what we see is boom at the very beginning of his video, and I'm going, what just happened? And he drew me in from it was like the first 6 seconds he had me in there. Well, then he talked about cow poop, and that was funny.
Yeah. Scat,
yes.
The Scat app.
It looks like we're at a 2-minute warning there, gentlemen.
Yeah, we got a 2-minute warning here.
Yeah, so why don't we, or as my wife would say, okay, so. Next week, next Tuesday, a week from today, we're going to be on Texas Family Live, not Texas Family Camping, Texas Family Live. And the thumbnail for this video tells you that we're going to be on Texas Family Live next week, and we're going to do the same thing. It'll be at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern next Tuesday, and we would so much like it if you guys would share a video link with us. Just email down below to vidliftinfo@gmail.com. Any other guys have anything else?
I've got 2 subscribers on that channel.
I was one.
Donovan was the first.
Wait.
If we don't get enough of your videos, you're going to have to watch one of ours. So just so you know.
You don't want that.
You don't want, well, we want to see that one.
Yeah, and if you have a subject, something that you're thinking about or want to discuss, send us that too in an email. We can make that part of the show as well.
Yep.
Huge shout out to Brad and Diana from It's About Time Now, and Lucy from Whoa Nellie RV Adventures. Thank you for sharing your videos with us. Guys, we got to get out of here. Have a great Tuesday.
Tony's journey is up.